Hello, my name is Brunet. I'm in music appreciation class. The topic I was picked for was the role of music in education. I chose this topic as one of my selections because I thought it was a very important thing to learn about and how much it helps in each one of our lives and each one of our educational experiences. I thought that my own experience was aided a lot by learning music at such a young age, and I wanted to see the statistics and the studies about why that was. And that's what I'm going to do in the rest of the presentation. I want to show how it improves our grades and our concentration in many different functions. So just a brief history about the role of music in education in America. American musical education really began in the colonies when people arrived in America. They put a really big importance on learning music and playing music, and it was really the chief point of entertainment in those times. And then in 1894, the National Education Association established a music division. This acknowledged music in schools and its role in education they wanted it to play. It also allowed teachers to be provided to schools and provided to other education services. Then about 13 years later, the National Association for Music Education was created in 1907. It was dedicated to advancing this idea in America. And then the 1994, the National Standards for Music Education was created. This included being able to sing for each individual student and play alone, as well as improvise melodies when they do play. So the main question we really want to ask is, what is the role of music in education for both lower grade students and higher grade students? And the number one reason is when younger children start to do music for the first time, it helps them develop their language and reasoning, and it helps them understand which sounds are from which way they play a certain musical instrument. And not to mention the memorization skills that a child will learn from looking at music and reading music to playing it and performing it. And that not only helps in music, but it will help in other subjects such as math, science, and more. Music can also increase the coordination for children and develop that at a very young age and help their fine motor skills. When they read something, they can know which instrument to play and how to play it. And another point for the role of music in education is that it dramatically improves test scores in all of the higher end tests such as the ACT and the SAT. The most important age for a child to learn music and develop musical skills is in elementary school. And it can be done in many different ways, but the best way is when they provide learning different sorts of music and instruments, but in a fun way, and it really gets the kids engaged. Such instruments include recorders, drums, and other different instruments that engage the child. I know when I was a child, I played the recorder, and I thought it was such an amazing thing to do, and I loved every minute of it. The only problem in elementary school is that student participation in music has declined dramatically, and this has something to do with the decline in music teachers as well. Here's an example of teachers getting students to learn music in a really fun way that really engages them. The benefits to music education do not just include elementary school students and beyond. It also includes middle school and high school students a lot as well. The College Entrance Examination Board found that students involved in public school music programs scored 107 points higher on the SATs than students with no participation. It just goes to show the taking of music classes in early schooling can really help in later in life in their education, such as college and high school. The U.S. Department of Education had data on more than 25,000 secondary school students that found that students who report high levels of involvement in music over their middle and high school years do significantly better in mathematics by their senior year of high school. And this another instance which shows how it's not just elementary school students who benefit from this, but it's also high school students and probably even college students as well. The last note here is that taking music lessons in your childhood was a significant predictor of a higher IQ in young adulthood and a history of better high school grades. So this is the graph from the last slide that shows SAT scores in each of the 3 categories, and it also compares them to music study and appreciation and performance to those who do not study music. As you can see, the green line here has none and no musical study at all, and it shows a much lower average SAT score in each of the main categories. Then music study or appreciation is the blue line, and red for music performance. There's really no difference in music performance and music study. However, there is a large difference when you compare those two to not studying music at all. Now, there is a much deeper understanding to how music improves not only education, but also a person's intelligence. One of the main reasons that it stimulates both sides of the brain. This is really not seen in any other occurrence not in sports, not in a lot of different things, but music, the brain really lights up when it hears it. Also, when you listen to music or you make music, it increases the stimulation and lets the dopamine flow in your brain. When this happens, this can lead to higher concentration levels and more memorization for the future, and also, I guess, increasing test scores after that.
The research is still fairly new, but neuroscientists have a pretty good idea. Playing a musical instrument engages practically every area of the brain at once, especially the visual, auditory, and motor cortices. And as with any other workout, disciplined, structured practice in playing music strengthens those brain functions, allowing us to apply that strength to other activities.
That is really one of the key parts of learning music. It can be beneficial for not just playing music, but also in so many different activities through all the different brain functions music can light up. The benefits from music don't only include learning music at a young age and improving your test scores, but also improving your studying habits. Some of these benefits include lower stress levels, higher motivation, less boredom. I know that everyone I know gets bored while they study, and music can really aid in the process of that. Listening to upbeat music can really improve your performance and motivation on less difficult work, less cerebral work. These things include simple math, maybe doing things you already know, but it's just really a time-consuming thing and you just need to get motivated to get it done. This upbeat music can provide that motivation for somebody to get it done. Listening to softer music can improve performance on harder work and work that will force us to think a lot harder and do a lot more thinking on the difficult work.
Tasks that require low mental effort or tasks that deal with very tangible information that I already am very familiar with. High energy music can get me energized and helps me get into the flow state faster. I'm talking stuff like statistics homework or accounting or programming, things where I know basically what needs to be done and it's just a matter of manipulating numbers or code to get it done.
This guy does a really good job in discussing the different forms of music and how they help out in the studying process. The role of music in education does not always pertain to elementary school students learning and middle school students learning, but it can also pertain to higher learning about civil rights and slave eras. And we can use music as a way to incorporate different themes into these curriculums through these songs. And we can learn a lot more through the use of music in education about these different things. Not only can we use it in those instances, but we can also use music in different health benefits. It lowers our blood pressure, reduces anxiety, and these can be very beneficial to someone who's trying to, I guess, learn more about music and learn more about other subjects as well. Not only can it do those things, but funny thing, it can also help you strengthen your immune response, making you more resistant to viruses, something we obviously could benefit in this time. In the end, music education provides students with crazy good benefits and well into the future, and it'll have a never-ending role in education with benefits that include higher grades, better studying habits, better life skills, improved learning ability, and more knowledge on cultural events. And I think music and the role it will play in education is a substantial one that will provide so many people with so many great life lessons for years to come. Here's a brief view of the references, and I want to thank my teacher, Dr. Blanchard, for a great semester, and I hope everyone has a great winter break.